Hi guys, welcome back on board of the Crypto Cruiser. It's me, Chris, and today we're going to talk about Cardano ADA, what ADA is all about, what makes it unique. Of course, we're going to talk some chart analysis, ADA compared to USD to the dollar, ADA compared to the Bitcoin chart to BTC. We're going to talk some traditional markets such as S&P 500. We had quite a significant bounce today, and we're going to talk some market look ahead, potentially some potential price target next week. And before we start talking about Cardano, let's just start with the Bitcoin chart. So let's just start with the Bitcoin chart, guys. And as I've anticipated, we're still moving into this huge bullish channel pattern. I mean, there's been quite a lot of comments in the comment section that they're saying that we're going for a bear market, that my predictions are pretty much we are facing way more downward momentum. The charts doesn't tell me any of those sorts. What the charts are telling me is that we're in a raging bull market, and if you zoom in, we can clearly see, especially last month, November, we had a monstrous month. We had I would say the biggest month in history. From price of around 66,000, we almost reached a price of around 100,000. We had a little bit of a pullback, and then we had more continuation of the trend, hitting 100,000. We had a little bit of a pullback, and we hit price of above 108,000. And this is it. We are having a little bit of a pullback, a normal correction. We have a swift bounce, the way I've predicted it. We are consolidating into this bullish channel pattern, and we're heading for higher prices. We also managed to break above this previous resistance line, yearly resistance line that we've tested. Its previous all-time high price of around 64,000 in April of 2021, and then we tested it again in November of 2021, prices of around 69,000, and we managed to break above it. We consolidate above it, and we're hitting all-time high price. So, in my personal opinion, there's no reason for you to worry. There's no reason to panic. But then again, this is not a financial advice. Anything I say in this video, it is not a financial advice. It's only for pure entertainment purposes. Markets can be very volatile, so if you can't resist on the downward momentum, and once we're hitting all-time high prices, if that's too much for you, I mean, these markets are definitely not for you. You have to be cool, calm, collected. And the fear greed index, do due diligence, make your own research before you take any action, because as I've said, this is not a financial advice. But just to get back on the charts, I mean, we're in a raging bull market, and as I've said, corrections when we're in a bull market are bullish, right? So I mean, this is my opinion. When it comes to S&P 500, I was nothing but right. Of course, I was able to predict the ABC correction, 10% on the downside, right? I've also said that I anticipate a V-shaped recovery. I mean, you can turn back some of my videos. I think my very first video was a V-shaped recovery, and that's what we had. ABC correction, 10% on the downside, V-shaped recovery, testing its previous all-time high prices. And I've said once we hit its previous all-time high prices at around these price targets, I'm anticipating to reverse, to pull back a little bit to this previous resistance line, acted twice as resistance. We turn it into support, and then we're going to have more continuation of the trend and potentially start hitting price of above 6,000. And that's what we had. From 6,000, I've told you, I anticipate a little bit of a pullback, that this previous local top at price of around 5,850, its previous local top, we turned into support, and we had more continuation of the trend and potentially start hitting price of around 6,100. We pulled back again, and I said, if this thing potentially this is a resistance line, we can hold it, and then we're gonna have more continuation of the trend. Of course, there's another possibility. If we won't be able to break above the 6,000 mark, this can be on the daily chart. This can be like a reverse head and shoulders, which is a bearish pattern. If we can't break above this resistance line of above 6,000. If we break above it, I'm anticipating way higher prices, and potentially hit price of around 6,250. Why 6,250? Because in the process we formed a reverse head and shoulders, which measure from the head to the bottom The price target should be above, as I've said, 6,250. In my personal opinion, we're in a bull market. We're gonna smash this resistance line, and we're gonna start hitting all-time high prices in the immediate short term. I'm not gonna be surprised if by quarter 1, pretty much basically February, March, we start hitting prices of above 6,200 for S&P 500, and of course that will bring the Bitcoin chart with it and start hitting higher highs, higher price targets for BTC as well. When it comes to ADA, this is something that I'm anticipating as well. But before we talk chart analysis, let's concentrate on ADA market capitalization chart and what are telling us. So we had a huge upside momentum, as you can clearly see. November, I mean, the market cap was below 10 billion, and we went above 40 billion. So that's more than 4x. And now we're just having a correction. We'll come back to this local top at price of around 26 billion. So at the time of recording this video, the circulating supply is around 35 billion. So in order for ADA, I mean, we already reached $1 earlier. So in order for us to go, we can potentially go to all-time high price of around it was we I think we hit 100 billion in 2021, so potentially we can come back. That'll be price of around $2.50. If we break above it, above the 100 billion market cap, where we can end up, I mean, let's just take one trade at a time. But I mean, let's just say roughly, if we go to $10, that'll be 350 billion market cap. That'll be absolutely insane, of course. But again, that's a possibility. Again, ADA Cardano can easily go to zero. So always do due diligence, make your own research, because as I've said, no one can predict the future. Altcoins are very speculative assets, and the way they can easily go up, they can also easily go down. So yeah, what Cardano is all about. Cardano is a proof-of-stake blockchain platform that says it goes to allow change makers, innovators, and visionaries to bring about positive global change. I mean, Cardano, what's the most, in my personal opinion, valuable characteristic of that blockchain is that it has many users. A lot of people want to subscribe to that network, and according to the Melkov law, that what makes one network truly valuable is the people who actually want to connect to it. Another thing, it has a huge ecosystem with hundreds of decentralized applications, such as decentralized exchanges, lending protocols, meme coins, to name a few, and potentially many more. Basically, there are a lot of programmers who are building different applications on that network, and that bring value to the network. But let's just concentrate on the chart analysis and what we've done so far. I mean, it's very important this week to finish above 95 cents, potentially to $1. Why? Because this is a huge resistance line, as you can clearly see on the weekly chart, that we've tested many years. So in April of 2019, May of 2019, even June 2019, we had here tests before we start going up a lot in value. We had another test here in January of 2021. We had multiple touch points between the period of May of 2022 and August of 2022. We tested it again when we formed this local top in March of 2024 at price of around 80 cents. We managed to break above it. We smashed through all the resistance, and now potentially we are coming back. We test this previous huge yearly resistance line into support, and then potentially we have more continuation of the trend, and before we know it, start hitting all-time high prices at around $3. Of course, this can be easily invalidated. This downward trend line can easily continue and test this downward trend line. And as you know, once we test many times, if it's resistance, if it's support, Usually if we test support multiple times, we usually break down on the downside. The way we've tested this resistance many times, we actually broke above it. What's more likelihood, in my personal opinion, of course, that's not a financial advice. I think Cardano has more upside momentum. I think we're turning this, as I've said, this resistance into support. Potentially, we'll end up consolidating and finishing this week above the 95 cent mark, and slowly but surely go to its previous all-time high at around $3, potentially consolidate or correct multiple months, and then go and test this resistance line, yearly resistance line that we've tested in its previous all-time high in January of 2018 at a price of around $1.30, and then we tested it again in August of 2021 at prices of above $3. And if we go and repeat that same move, that basically if we reach the this price target, this upper trend line by September of 2025, that will be price of around $5. But then this is gonna be an indicator that the bulls have completely took over the markets, and we can potentially go further than that. And if we break above this yearly resistance line and we have full price discovery from $5, we can easily go to $10. Again, this is not a financial advice. ADA can easily go to zero, so always do due diligence and make your own research, because as I've said, this is not a financial advice. When it comes to ADA compared to the Bitcoin chart, this is something that I'm actually anticipating. We've been moving into this huge channel pattern, I mean, since its launch from 2017, and we had many tests on the downward trend line. We've tested it here as well in end of October, beginning of November, and we had a huge upside momentum. Now it's time for a little bit of a correction, cooling down the market for another gearing up for another move on the upside. And if we repeat, as I've said, this same move in between the period of October till January of 2017-18, and then again from December of 2020 till August of 2021, if something like that plays out and we go and test this upper trend line, the measure move is around 7x, something like that, 7-8x, and that's on in Bitcoin terms. So at the time of recording, ADA is around 90 cents, and that's another confirmation that we can potentially go to $9-10 for ADA. Of course, this is not a financial advice. Once again, guys, thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate all the support. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, please do it. It's for absolutely free. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. I mean, please subscribe. It's, as I've said, absolutely free. Of course, you can subscribe to my Patreon as well. Get my 2 books, the Crypto Guidebook and the Art of Chart Analysis, filled with very useful information about this bull cycle, and of course, how to become a sophisticated trader, for how to gain quite a lot of knowledge in the art of chart analysis. Of course, with our subscription comes exclusive content with the most undervalued, underappreciated coins, some of them 50, 100x potential. Once again, guys, thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate all the support, and we see each other later on. Goodbye.